I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men. I thought how as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then peal the bells more loud and deep, God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night to day. A voice, a chime, a chant sublime, of peace on earth, goodwill to men. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old and in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to man. Then peal the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolves from night to day. A voice, a chime, a chant sublime, of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Hello and welcome back to the Will It Forge Watching Paint Dry show. I'm on an improvement trend. Still dealing with the after effects of the pneumonia, so you probably hear me cough from time to time if I can't get muted first and the like. But I'll do my best for you, and of course we still will have the music and fun that I usually try to keep going in the stream. I did, as we established last week, Sick Will is a jerk, but I did find the paints that I was hiding from myself. I'm not going to say exactly where they were. Let's suffice it to say that they were somewhere in my living room, and I nearly tripped or stepped on them half a dozen times this week before it clicked that there they were. So let's go with that. I do have, I'm going to actually turn off that one for now because I got some good daylight still. It's fading, but I got some still. We're going to go with that, and I'm going to try and focus mostly up in this area on the hedgehog. If I'm really lucky, we'll get him finished off this stream, and then it's just the leaves around in the cup to finish up, a little bit of touch up. And then, as I mentioned before, I'll be filling in the lines and spaces around with black. Now, I do have some black oil paint pens for that, but when I was getting these paints to work on the hedgehog, I said, I'm going to need more black paint pens, and I ran into this, turn it this way so you can see, acrylic paint pen. I've never tried these before, so when I go to do the lines with this, it'll be the first for me, and we'll see how that turns out together. I know I like the oil ones, so in a pinch, I will go to the store and get more oil if I need to. Now, it's December 21st. I'm probably going to run out of, again, because I'm using only straight no chaser as a rule, although you heard a few pieces that I'd gotten from public domain sites. They're definitely copyright free public domain, so I'm not worried about them. Maybe for next Christmas, I will raid them all for more Christmas music. What I'd really love is a couple of military bands to have some recordings out there. There's a few, but I'd like it to be really expanded because nothing performed by military band performances cannot be copyrighted. Automatically public domain. It's against the law for it not to be. And I could really go for that. Now, coming into this, I know I've got a little bit of bright red here, but most of this arc is going to be in blues and greens. Maybe a touch of brown, but I'm trying to leave brown out since I got the browns in here and the browns and brick reds in here. We'll kind of see. But I got 3 different blues and greens that I picked up from the store, plus some other stuff that I have from elsewhere and before. Let's see if we can't get this all taken care of on him today. I'll probably throw at least one brighter color into each ear. to kind of differentiate it more from the spikes. We'll kind of see it all based on, what looks good to me. Which is hilarious because I'm making this for somebody else who, as far as I know, hasn't watched the streams, doesn't know it's coming, only has a vague notion that I'm working on something artistic, so to speak, and is going to totally flip out when she sees it no matter what, because she loves all things hedgehog. One or two of you probably know who I'm talking about. That's the benefit of having people you know in the live streams and in the chat. Now, one other thing I've got going on new is I actually have been able to hook up my second monitor to the laptop in a way where if I look up, I should see the chats from both YouTube and DLive. This should help me, hopefully, in being a little quicker in response time. But again, when I'm playing music, because the goal is to do the artwork, when I'm working on the hedgehog, I am going to be doing a lot of heads down with not a lot of attention paid to chat. I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to get a lot of work done here because this is for a gift and it's not going to be done by Christmas already. So with that said, I'm going to line up a few tunes. Again, Straight No Chaser, because they love their material to be shared. And I am going to line up a color as well. I'm going to go with this bright green color I've got to see how visually offensive I can be in a small space. And go from there. So just a moment, I'll get some tunes lined up. And we'll go along. As long as my voice holds out, you probably hear me doing some singing too. Whether that's good for me, I'll figure out tomorrow when I decide if I can speak tomorrow or not. We're doing this for fun and entertainment, right? We're doing this because we want to, and that's where it's going to go with this. So one moment. Oh, and I'm going to throw in the most torturous Christmas and near Christmas songs from Straight No Chaser that I have too. So enjoy. It is what you get. Okay, that's about how much I can take. Promise I won't repeat that one again this season, but you know, some things you just see, some things, even if they're cruel, you gotta do them once. And no, despite this being around Christmas time, the Top of the Hedgehog is not going to end up looking like a bad candy cane imitation. It's just trying to get through all of this bright hot red first before bringing in the next round of color, which is going to kind of change things up a little bit. And then that song, every single time, it makes me do a little thinking, because if you read your Bible, there are some things that, because Mary didn't understand the prophecy, she certainly didn't know. There are some things about that she definitely did know, and it kind of comes off blah. But it's still a beautiful harmonic arrangement. And those guys definitely know what they're doing when they're singing, so it's kind of hard not to just go ahead and listen through anyway. And I think that is the end of the red along the outer spines. And you see I did add just a little bit of green, just kind of balance the brighter color down here. But it's mostly for the reds and fiery colors, and maybe a little bit of brick, or I've got one that says flamenco red, which is red but deeper, and that's going to be in here too. I'm definitely looking for the brighter colors on the outside, and mostly the cooler colors and the earth tones towards the middle. So we'll see how that turns out. And just getting ready to change up colors here. And you can see most of it's being done with my favorite brush. Don't ask me why the 000 is my favorite, aside from the ability to get really close into the detail. I don't know, because for some things, it makes me do a lot more effort. What can you say? So we're going to line up a few more Christmas songs and try and keep this to the Christmassy. And maybe a little traditional Christmas, and of course, my favorite early Christmas song, the Christmas Can-Can. And lining up, because to me it's an amazing song for first Christmas with new family. So we got that Greatest Gift of All lined up in there too. Am I an artist or a disc jockey or something worse than the combination of the two? You can let me know.
You guys are really gonna like it, and I know the fellas can pull this one off. All right, guys, you got this. Christmas, Christmas time is here. Time for joy and time for cheer. We've been good, but we can last. Hurry, Christmas, hurry fast. Want a plane that loops the loop. Me and one a hula hoop. You can understand the way. Please, Christmas, don't be late. Guys, I don't know how to say this to you, but I mean I guess that was fine. I mean, it was okay, but for this song to really be what all these people came to see, you got to do it the way we rehearsed it.
That was a joke.
No, it's Segi. What rehearsal were you at? That's just creepy. Yeah, no, the way we rehearsed it, guys. The people are gonna love it. It sounds great that way. Come on, let's hear it. Christmas, Christmas time for joy and time for cheer. We can pray, but we can last. Merry Christmas, hurry past. Want a plane that loops the loop. Past the way my hula hoop. It's Christmas from the end. You can hardly stand around. This Christmas don't be. Give it up for our Chills!
Before I continue, I feel honor bound to respond to that question from Random American. As far as intend to team up with the Will It Blend guys, I love those guys. They're actually where I got the inspiration for Will It Forge. Now, as far as I can tell, their blenders don't forge and my forge won't blend. But if they want to come up with something else for us to test in tandem, I would be honored. I'd be over the moon. That'd probably increase my overall channel traffic about 1,000, no, about 1,000,000-fold. So, if you know those folks and they're interested in a collaboration, let me know. But right now, I'm kind of tiny and I'm not counting on it. Now, I'm not sure how much I guess it is kind of showing because there's a difference between this red, and it's in good light, it is rather stands out quite a bit, but you get the wrong light and it's kind of like red to red to red. One's a little more glossy and one's a little deeper, but it doesn't stand out quite as much as when you take and you have them under natural light, which of course at this point I don't have much any more natural light to show off. That's still worse than with just the camera's ring light. So we're kind of see what we get, and as I go along I'm taking pictures in more natural light, and I might take and assemble a finished video at the end of this too. We don't know. Kind of a lot going on here. Now to make this a little more, because I've gotten those two reds, and I've got this Tropic Orange, which I'm not sure if it's going to be like really good or really horrid, but the one thing I can do is say it's going to really catch the eye when added to the reds and a little bit of green in there. So before I do that, I was going to take that deeper red and add it to Hedgy Ears, and I'm still going to do that. So I will return the music and continue with the painting and keep an eye on the chat. If I see comments out there, I'll try to get to them as quick as I can. course, I think if Squeetus went and said Dada on her first Christmas, Satsu would probably just about die. And for a guy who says he doesn't have feels, he has got a whole heck of a lot more feels than I do. But hey, he's the one that's got a deal, right? So I'm probably going to still end up branching out from the colors I bought specifically for this, because I'm confident I don't really have enough colors to finish out the arcs on it from just this one trip to the store. I'll have to dig into my other paint supplies again. But I might surprise myself and go ahead and line up some more songs, and then we'll bring in the more eye-catching or maybe jarring combinations. Who knows? I might violate the Geneva's Convention for art. We'll see. Oh, this is sad. Unless I missed a couple, I'm just about out of Straight No Chaser Christmas music. But we'll get that, and then I'll branch out into a little other Straight No Chaser stuff. If you're enjoying the music, really check them out. Look for them. They've got albums right, left, and center. Christmas and other stuff. They're a great a cappella group. Decades old now, and they are always fun to listen to.
It was Christmas Eve, my
Friends were all in town. We were singing Christmas carols as the snow was falling down. And I don't know how it happened or who's to blame, but someone at that party ought to be ashamed. And if you occasionally see me kind of leaning into the shot a little bit, and you see the magnifier and everything, I do a lot of stuff in like the really fine detail, close-in stuff, and end up with my nose just not that far from my work. I have these progressive bifocals, which is actually a different kind of con by the eye doctor, because it's a way to convince you to actually go to trifocals without telling you that they're trifocals. But progressive bifocals are actually no-line trifocals. If you need them, don't be embarrassed. They're actually quite handy. But that gives my glasses 3 focal lengths. Then I get this magnifier that, without flipping down the one lens, has 1 focal length on one side and 1 on the other. So depending on what I need to work on and everything, I've got 9 focal lengths ready at hand just by moving my head around a little bit, which is where I sometimes end up dipping in. Now you can kind of see this isn't really bright orange. They call it what was that again? Tropical orange. I don't know how tropical this is or isn't, but what I'm going to end up doing is, after I do this section that I'm going to do with the tropical orange, I've got other oranges and yellows and reds that are going to kind of fill out the outer arc on the hedgehog, probably, and add even a little bit more fire and bright to it. We're not quite to the retina searing stage that I want for this outer arc of the hedgehog spines. So I'll kind of wait and see. I want this hedgehog to have trouble getting lost at midnight in a snowstorm on a new moon. So we're going to kind of have to step up my game a little bit on that. Anyway, unless I can find my Straight No Chaser CD that I've got lying around here, that pretty much burns out my Straight No Chaser Christmas music. I'll probably play through a lot of it a little bit later, but branch out a little bit and play some of their other stuff that's not seasonal to December, you could say. Because it's also stuff that's appealed to my sense of taste in music, and the fact that they are an amazing a cappella group. Now, one of the things I think I'm going to end up doing in the near future is trying to reach out to other musicians, especially some ones that primarily fund through Patreon and sources like that, and see if I can't arrange, especially as a small, not monetized channel. It's not, I'm not making money. I'm just trying to provide an offset for listening to me while I'm working through this stuff, because the more I have to talk, the less efficient I am at painting, and see if we can't branch out a little bit with permission. But until I get around to doing that and trying that with artists that I would love to play in the background, we'll start with a group, like I said, Straight No Chaser. Amazing guys to listen to, and they want their stuff out. And you go to their concerts even, they tell you, go ahead, record and post it online. This is not a group that's going to be hitting me up. Knocked my camera over, grabbing a drink. Yeah, this is an early version of the Aaliyah plaque. Makes a nice little table above the workspace. Yeah, this is not a group that's going to be hitting me up with copyright claims for playing their music while I'm painting, because they want their music out there and shared.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, and evening TV. Everywhere you look, there's a heart I had to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a place, somebody who loves you. Everywhere you look, when you're lost out there and you're all alone, the light is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, everywhere you look, zooming about, out. There's a story about a man named Jed. A boy
man that kept his hand with it. And one day she was shooting at some fruit, and up from the ground came a bubbling crude. Oil, that is, black gold. Texas tea. Because you know, Jed's a millionaire. King folks said, Jed, move away from there. Said, California is the place you ought to be. Moved to the truck and he moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. Show me that smile again. 'Cause it's another minute on you crying. We know we're near the end. The best is ready to begin. As long as we got each other, we got the clouds in our right and our hands on you and me. We gotta be the luckiest dreamers who never to dream it. As long as we keep on living, we can take anything that comes our way. Rain and shine all the time. We got each other, sharing the laughter and love. Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing really age. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what the outlaw this time, it's gonna stand in your heart. Gives everything to the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dreams, rise and fall on the wings of my dreams. The rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for brighter days. My life is my dreams. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Yeah, there goes the Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, is whatever a spider can. Should we do if he could? Like the mountain down, just do with there. There goes the Spider-Man. In the heat of night, at the scene of the crime, with the speed of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man's master plan, build his own little spider clan. All special interest groups look out. Wherever there's a plan, you'll find a great big gang. You'll find a Spider-Man. And we're almost done with this outer arc on the hedgehog. And you remember from last week, I did have a little bit of a paint spill mishap here. So as I'm encountering the right colors to touch this up, I'm going ahead and doing that little bit of touch up so that it continues in more of a pristine condition. There might be a couple of them where I might have to say, well, this is a different color, but it's close enough, and just paint over it. We'll see. That's kind of what you get with a variety of colors and not quite paying close enough attention. And this orange here did kind of bring out a little bit more. I want something a little closer to a yellow or yellow-orange. Maybe if I can find this color again. I think it's sitting over on the chair. Just to kind of make that last little bit there stand out a little bit, pop. I might do it in between the green there too. We'll see. Kind of paint over what I've got there. I'm not real sure. And yeah, this is kind of how my mentality goes most of the time when I'm doing painting or what passes for art for me. That and the cross between some of these paints are a little bit older, and every time I open them, I think, oh, hey, this is the last time this color's going to work. Oh, no, that one's definitely more yellow. But let me take a look at one thing. Yeah, I think I am going to do that. And the joke of the name of the stream, of course, the Watching Paint Dry show, which was the inspiration of a coworker who sometimes watches the streams. Plenty of good laughs on that. It's kind of funny because Scribe doesn't get it, but Scribe Light was actually the inspiration for doing the stream with the painting, and that after Satsu received the Aaliyah plaque, the name plaque for Squeedus, and saw the video and everything, and said that I should do streaming of the artwork. In this piece here, I streamed the laser burn, and I'm streaming every bit of the painting. When the painting's done, I think I'm doing an acrylic clear coat on this. I won't be able to stream that, just the logistics of it and the computer setup. But just doing the, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and stream that and be crazy that way. Which I don't think he realized, that he doesn't get that the Watching Paint Dry stream is actually his creation as much as anything. Well, that's not the... I'm going to do over this one spot with this color and say it's close enough. Well, concerned because there's, if you're hearing those sirens in the background, we got at least fire and ambulance, first responder thing going on. Possibly, don't know, possibly police in there too. So something's going on nearby. I hope everything is... probably not everything okay with those alerts going off and everything, but hopefully everybody is okay. There we go. Forgot that the ring light on this has got touch sensitive variable brightness, and that's what I get when I knock the camera off. of course. But the camera's back. Do a real quick couple more pieces of touch-up, and then we're going to be bringing in the blues and greens to finish out this arc. I want to do something that's neither blue nor green here in the ears, so I'm going to have to think about that. That one might get a metallic, actually. We'll see, but I've got a deeper green and I've got the deeper red, so I want something that's a little more bright there in the contrast. So we'll see. Back to the music while we do that.
Beach Boys fans in the house tonight? Tough to do the 60s without covering a Beach Boys tune, but, you know, we didn't want to just cover a Beach Boys tune. We wanted to put the straight note chaser twist on it. So we thought to ourselves, all right, what if these guys, instead of growing up out west, what if they grew up right here in the Jersey Shore? And then we thought, all right, what if these guys grew up more or less with us at the same time we did? Well, we thought the song might sound a little something like this. 1, 2, 3.
Do you love me? Do you
Now, of course, a nice cobalt blue, which I hope isn't actually colored with cobalt anymore. Otherwise, I'm going to have a really short lifespan as an artist. Not that this is super artsy anyway, but when you're dealing with a blue that's originally from a use an unstable isotope, radioactive material, something like that, well, it's just not so good for you. I think they do it artificially now. Blues are actually very, very easy and cheap colors to do artificially these days. And there we have it. I've managed to paint myself, which is one of the hazards that I face in doing this. That'll be a cleanup later. Cleanup aisle 4. Paints on the artist. And I think that the other color I have here, which is more of a turquoise, will do nicely for these few spots that are left. And then I'll just have to figure out what I'm doing up in the ear here. But I've also got a few more places on the hedgehog I need to do. In fact, I am going to throw the cobalt in this space near the eyes. That just seems so nice. And of course, I'm trying to be careful because there are some colors that are going to appear as they do on the hedgehog and not the cup, and vice versa. They share some colors, but some colors just kind of stand out as unique to that part of the picture. I'm going to say anybody paying attention to the picture will notice, but I don't kid myself that that's actually going to be anybody but me. Because the person who's receiving this, the last thing she's going to be doing is looking for flaws in patterning and everything. She is going to see hedgehogs and squeak rather loudly. Now, to get that point, I'm in Michigan. They should be listening for it in Indiana and Ohio. And get the music back going again while I finish out with the cobalt blue and start adding the turquoise. And just try and keep the fun going if there's anybody here. If not, at least I have fun talking to myself, right?
So for those of you who've seen this for the first time, you may have seen this before on Al Gore's interweb or the YouTubes. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of that, but we did something last year that we were... Thanks, Sig. Thanks. Shit, is my tie all right? All right, good. One of the things we did that we really enjoyed was a sitcom medley that we did last tour. These are people who raise kind of work on YouTube. Proudly clapping. So this time we decided to take it even further back into our childhood. There it is. Sometimes when you don't pay the electric bill, I think they pay $2 for the electric bill. Anywho, so we're going to take you back to those days when you would just, let me set a scene for you in this bright light. Your eyes, those Saturday mornings when your eyes would just pop open, no alarm clock or anything, and you just jump out of bed in your footy pajamas and stumble over your light bright and then traverse the sharp field of Legos right outside your door. Maybe stop for a quick bite to eat at your Easy Bake Oven. Just a light bulb in there. Speaking of light bulbs. Wait. Don't move. We're on the clock for the rest of the show. This is all planned for your enjoyment. Hard work to make it all look like an accident. watch Saturday morning cartoons all morning. You guys know what I'm talking about? Just ignore the lights. Just ignore them. I'll be back soon. So what we decided to do, I say we, but Mr. Walter I am going to get through this announcement. Now I lost my train of thought. Let's start again. We'll put together a cartoon medley. Go. George Jetson, da 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 da. His boy Howard, daughter Jenny, da da da. Jane, his wife. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a nutshell, turtle power. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Dashing, daring,
Courageous and caring, helpful and friendly, with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as the song fills the air. Gummy bears, bounce here and there and everywhere. Our adventures beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears.
That's what it's all, folks.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell you what was going through my mind that whole song. I'm picturing a couple in their apartment next door at the fuse box trying to figure out which light switch turns on the kitchen. They're like, is this it? Cracked me up.
So earlier this afternoon at our sound check, we had the pleasure and opportunity to listen to a group of very young, very finely dressed men who sing a cappella in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And they're singing like 6 feet from the PA system on each side. Can you guys still hear by now? Okay, all right, let us know how we're doing. They sounded great. Well, I gotta ask you a question before we go on to our next song. Do we have any country fans in the audience? Okay, good. What about of the lovely and talented Miss Taylor Swift? Guys, I know you're well, we're not going to sing any of Taylor Swift's music tonight. I just wanted to see who else bought the Fearless album besides myself. You bought it twice, right? That's a moot point. That's we're going to forget about that. Charlie, why don't you take it away, man, on this country song?
You know I like chicken fried.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio on.
Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of Georgia pine. That's
Home,
you know,
sweet tea, pecan pie, and a homemade wine, where the beaches roll.
my house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled with love that's grown in the southern ground.
And a little bit of chicken fried.
A cold beer on Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio on. I've seen sunrise, love in a woman's eyes, in the touch of a precious child, no mother's love. Well, it's funny how it's little things in life that mean most. Not where you live, or what you drive, or the price tag on your clothes. There's no dollar sign on a piece of mind, as I've come to know. So if you agree, have a drink with me, raise your glasses to a little bit of chicken fried. A cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio on. I've seen sunrise, love in a woman's eyes, feel the touch of a precious child, no mother's love. Thank God for my life, and for the stars and stripes, may freedom forever fly. Let it ring, salute the ones who died, those who gave their lives, so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we love, like our
Chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right,
and the radio on. No like
chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio on. Chicken fried.
One more chance.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right.
Thank you, DJRLHF. Yeah, definitely the Hedgies coming together. We're getting close to done with Hedgie, and then it's just a matter of the leaves and the cup in the background. And I just found the one. Sorry, knocking things around again. I found the color I think that I want for the last piece of the ears, and this is going to be a little bit different because it does not look wet like it does dry. So, I mean, it's not like a minor difference. It is really extremely noticeable. And of course, I have to be careful for wet paint on my picture. Oh, we're gonna trade up on this. Is a big enough space. We're definitely gonna trade up on brushes. Let me wash the 000, and we're just going to go up to, I think, a 0 for this one. And do I have brushes bigger than these? Yeah, I've got somewhere I could probably do most of the hedging, like stripe back, stripe forth kind of thing. But that just does not give us the control, obviously, that we need on this picture. You have to be careful because of splatters of water too. Now the bonus is, again, with it being so dry around here, which probably isn't good for my lungs, but with it being so dry around here, these colors that I'm adding today are going to be, aside from the very last ones, they're going to be all dry before the end of the stream. So I don't have to worry a lot about protecting it once things are done. It just goes into a room where the cats can't reach it, and everything is considered nice and safe from there. Now this one, it goes on with this flecked drab creamy color, but it actually is a nice gold glitter. It's brighter. I don't really know how it does the drying to match, because the glitter is the right color if you're looking at it closely and everything, but it's got this kind of creamy look to it that just totally goes away as it dries, leaving it shiny gold. It's different than this gold, but it's shiny with a glitter in it, and I think we can do that nicely for the hedgy ears. And if I'm really lucky, I'll figure out the colors and get the rest of the hedgy finished today, because there's just not too much more left to it. It's just bits and pieces. Now, I don't have a lot of bugging me going on from the cats, because I took one of their toys and, well, I got this stuff. One brand calls it Bliss Mist. What it is it's a catnip oil spray, and you can treat their toys and whatnot to be catnip toys and everything. So I took one of their toys and gave it a nice spray, and they didn't go overboard on it, but one is napping over in the corner, I think, or maybe up on a paper box. The other one is napping at my feet while I'm working on this, and bonus, no big messing with the art while I'm doing it and getting in the way. So that's a plus. They're behaving themselves quite nicely. And I guess it's because Dad drugged the addicts, but what can we say? I don't care if it's reward or bribery, sometimes they get the special stuff. And yes, I am laying it on really thick in these areas. I don't know if I have to, but I always get the feeling, like, especially with the way the colors show up differently, that I really have to put extra on there. And while most paint things, it's better to do 2 or 3 thin coats than one thick one. This is me adding the acrylics to a piece of art, and if it takes 2 days for this little bit to dry, it takes 2 days for this little bit to dry. I'm not going to be working on it again this weekend. It's going to go into a dry room with a constant airflow and have a chance to really dry. So I think I'm going to add the gold glitter to this spot up here. And I've got some colors for down around the hedgy feet down here. They're more of a earth tone to go with kind of the feel down there. And I'm just going to kind of try and finish out the hedgy, and then I'll probably be looking at the cup, because I don't want to work over the space I painted to grab the rest of what's left of these leaves. I'll get into, or whatever they are, I'll get into them on my next stream, I guess. Hopefully that stream I'll be able to get into doing the paint lines with the black paint pen. You can see really how that works. In the meantime, next song is queued up. I'll kind of continue with the playlist while I'm working on the painting. Oh.
Adults money now. Be happy. Forget it. Near the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. Near the village, the quiet village, the lion sleeps just like that. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight. Hush, my darling, don't cry, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight. Moan
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve Morgan. Superior tenor. Superior tenor.
We may only have.
Yeah, a quick pause in there. So it looks like I'm just about done with the hedgehog. I think I'm going to mostly leave the white in the eye space white, just because I'm planning on filling in this space completely black. And again, it's going to make it really pop out. Take just a moment here. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Because I have another picture that I did similarly, only this was done with watercolors rather than acrylics. So this one I did with the watercolors, and the same watercolors in the same kind of process where I took and I burned a coloring page, in this case into a board. But as you see, this one is done all in metallics, but it looks kind of drab with the colors until I took that black oil paint pen and I went in there, and just all of the colors just really stood out. Now, when I do that with the Hedgie, I am expecting, especially when I get all black around the nose and black in the eyes and between all these spots, I'm really expecting it to make those colors just really totally stand out, and it's going to be eye-catching from across the room even. So that's kind of where that idea is going. And then taking my brush sets in some of the...
We may only have tonight.
Try that again. Taking the brush sets in some of the paints that I've already used, and kind of gets a really ugly color going on it because it's all over the brush. My bad. And then that's the problem with working with water over to my left and the paper towel for finishing off the brush cleaning and drying over to the right. Sometimes I'm dripping water on the picture. Now, if you look at it, right on the edges of this, I told you that I was going to do like a change into the gold with the glitter. It's starting to happen as it dries from the edges in, and as that continues to dry, that's going to clear up and turn even more gold and have that really bright gold glitter thing, and I think that's going to look really good there. If it doesn't, well, nobody but us will know the difference. That, you know, as far as that, everybody, I do these things and people really, really seem to like them, and I'm the one that's looking like, well, this part didn't turn out right, and that part didn't turn out right, and my own worst critic kind of thing. Now, before I continue on with any more, since I'm pretty much done with the hedgehog and everything, I have got some colors that, because I only want them to show on the hedgehog, I have got to resign from this picture and now deliberately hide away from myself so that I can't accidentally use them in the cup. So I'm going to start the music again. I'm going to be away for a minute or two, and then I will be back if I can do this without destroying the picture.
But till the morning sun, you're mine, all mine. Play the music, Lord, and sway to the rhythm of love. My head is stuck in the clouds. She begs me to come down, says, boy, quit fooling around. I told her I love the view from up here. The warm sun and wind in my ear. Will watch the world from above as it turns to the rhythm of love. We may only have tonight, but till the morning sun, you're mine, all mine. Play the music low and sway to the rhythm of love. My heart beats like a drum, a guitar string to the strum, a beautiful song to be sung. She's got blue eyes deep like the sea. They roll back when she's laughing at me. She rises up like the tide the moment her lips meet mine. We may only have tonight, but till the morning sun, you're mine, all mine. Play the music low and sway to the rhythm of love. When the moon is low, we can dance in slow motion, and all your tears will subside. All your tears will dry. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. We may only have tonight, but till the morning sun, you're mine, all mine. Play the music low and sway to the rhythm of love. Oh, play the music low and sway to the rhythm of love. And sway to the rhythm of
All right, I am back. I had to kind of like go through some of the paints that I have, looking at finishing off the cup, or at least getting the next round on the cup, and I had to go get a new paper plate because the one that I've been using is almost completely covered with paints, enough so that I can't possibly use it without making a mess. And yeah, I'm not actually a big fan of messes. I may have my organizational issues, but I'm not a big fan of messes, so kind of try and get that cleared up quickly as far as that goes. Now, probably for most of the cup, we're going to be dealing with stuff that is more bright, even metallic, though I might end up with a few drab pieces in there to kind of, it's always nice to have that offset there. Especially to get the nice glitter and then kind of a, not a dark color, but kind of it's a little more laid back this little bit here. Kind of go for a nice mix. I think a nice mix. I'm hoping a nice mix. What can I say? So I get this one, which is metallic pearl. It's closer to a white, but it's not exactly. It shows on the Aaliyah plaque. So if you look at that, you'll be able to see real quickly where it is. I'm gonna add a little bit of that to this picture too, as we go along. Kind of let everything offset everything else, and I'll take and cue up some more music. Do a few more regular things, and I'll run through Christmas songs again, because, I'm going to run out of time.
Creepy stalker hiding in the shadows. Birds will sing using lots of vibrato. Is he there to enter or be her vocal teacher? Why is it only happen late at night? How did this ever seem alright?
Memories, this show causes me agony. Not to mention my allergies from these cats all around. Yes, it's misery. Men and women dressed up as cats. Wish these memories would fade away.
525,000 twice as songs. 525,000 places in that. Everyone in rent was tired of the homeless. Thanks to the writer, we all dance inside.
I need a
I gotta get off these drugs. Oh, give me a hug. Tired of these drugs.
This song will be stuck Instead of fighting, we just dance and sing. I don't think that helps anyone, but obviously it's way more fun to be right.
Did you see the new movie? Did you see the new movie? Who was in charge of casting? Everyone could see.
Why did they choose Russell
Why did they think he could see?
He was awful.
He should never sing again. Auto-tune can't save you now.
Did they not think we would care?
The music builds, the end is near. We're at war.
We will lose this revolution, 'cause our military sucks. We don't have any children. Everything to use. We'll lose this war, but
That's choreography. For Broadway. One day more. So I have actually seen Phantom, Cats, and Les Mis in theater. Rent, no, I guess I lucked out on that. What can I say? I'd actually like to see Cats in theater again, as long as I can be sure they won't go woke and cut out Growl Tiger's Last Stand. I think that's actually the song. No matter what you're standing on the whole thing, the song belongs, especially if you're replacing it with the Rumpus Cat and everything, talking about the peaks and the pinnacles and the palms and everything. It's not really any more politically correct and everything, and sensitive to different cultures and everything. It's just different, and that's about as close to political as I intend to ever get on this show. And back to the music.
Nothing crazy is gonna happen. I'm only here to perform.
2, 1, 2, 3.
Melbourne, on the next stage. So please, if you have friends, family, foes, anyone, tell them to come out to the show. SNCmusic.com for info. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been incredible. Once again, we are Straight No Chaser! to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh y'all skipping. I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm like a dragon, wanna retire. I'm too hot. Say my name, you know what? I'm too hot. And my band's about that money back. Girls hit hallelujah. Girls hit hallelujah. Girls hit hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Saturday night and weekend. Don't believe it, you watch. Go! Don't believe it, you watch. Come on. Don't believe it, you watch. Yeah, don't believe it, you watch.
To the actual Uptown Funk.
This one for them hood girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. I gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot damn. And my band about that money, break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on. Don't believe it, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 how? Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign a check. Julio, get the stretch. Got to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh drop skippy. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot damn. And my band about that money, break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on. Don't believe it, just watch. Come on. Oh, don't believe it, just watch. 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 Hey, hey,
Now, the color that I'm adding here right now it's like the gold glitter, which as you can see is really turning gold, only it's a purple. And as you can see, it's definitely going on differently than I'll expect it to dry. But I've worked with this paint in the gold and in a black and in a crystal ice sparkle kind of thing. So, and like blue, it's the same as this green here. And the pink even. So I'm expecting a really positive outcome from this as far as good results. And that's what you get into getting comfortable with the materials that you're using for the outcome. But we'll see, because it's, you know, there's always a chance that one color will surprise me. But it struck me as probably a good one to fill out some of the cup details, because we're getting, you of course got the blue. Well, that was the ultramarine, which, well, it's got deeper and lighter spots. I'm still really loving the outcome of the ultramarine. That's what you get by testing paints that have ridiculous colors. I have to be careful, else the ultramarines are going to end up knocking on my door, asking about ridiculous colors that they sponsored. If you're listening, government, with the ultramarines, it's a joke. It's a great color. I love it. Please don't make me vanish, or, you know, I don't want to be Epsteined or Vincent Fostered, so. But we're going in, we're getting this purple. I have got, with the glitter, I have got a red and a blue, which are probably also going to make appearances in the cup. As I'm finishing up the cup, we're trying to do as much as I can in the time I have. Well, it's got some plainer tones, and it's probably going to get a plainer brown or a tan in here somewhere still too. It gets some of that extra color popping out. And that's a good thing as well. And I'm looking at that pearlescent, and I think that that's going to be just fine, the pearl, as long as it's got the black outline and the colors going next to it. It should come out really nicely. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to come together, I'm sure. And then before I get in, obviously I got spots where I've got some colors out here. My plan is for at least a large portion of the surrounding area not to be white, but I'm probably going to end up off stream just taking all of this white space and going over it in white, so that it's still got a good clean for the color that's going to go over it. We'll see. We'll see. But if I'm cleaning up this white so that it's ready, I'm going to do that off. I mean, that's just basically repriming that portion of the piece. I'm going to do that off stream. If I don't, it'll be duller than the usual watching paint dry stream. And yeah, we trying to avoid that. So I'm going to hop back to the Christmas music. We have probably less than an hour left, no matter what. Then get the Christmas music on again, and just gonna line up a lot of it, take a real quick drink, and then get back to painting. And see how much more we can finish today, because it's definitely going to be at least one more weekend, maybe two, to finish this out. And, well, you know, it is what it is. Mr. Grinch.
Our first ever New Year's show. Thank you all for coming out. And hopefully we'll be doing this for 30 years from now. We'll be doing New Year's shows. This has been something we've been thinking about doing for a long time. And there's no appropriate song other for us to do at this point. Once a year we get to do it. So.
We'll take a couple time this year for the days of old lang syne. Give a handle on. Old acquaintance we forget and never. Old acquaintance we forget.
All the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say throw cares away.
Christmas ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, telling a tale, telling a tale. Daily they ring while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas, merry, 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 merry Christmas. Ding on they send dong with a head, cheerful tone to every home. Dong all the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say throw cares away. Christmas is here, go kick a cheer, ding every home, dong and the boom, ding dong, ding dong, dong is their song, big cheerful ring, dong and the ring. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they sound, raising the sound, oh, hill and dale, telling the tale, gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, merry, merry Christmas, merry, 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 merry Christmas. Ding on they send on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Dong on they send on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
Dashing through the snow. Dashing through the snow. Dashing through.
Hello, Hi-Res. Thank you for the follow and the 3 lemons. Always nice to have new people show up. This red that I'm working with now is the glitter red that's similar to that glitter purple and the glitter gold. This one has obviously separated a little bit in the bottle. I didn't get it shaken up well enough, but due to the nature of the paint, it is going to dry just fine in these spaces and have hopefully still the desired effect. We'll find out. Of course, I am watching the clock because Lords of the Night is coming up in another hour. Should be on Ranting Monkey's channel if they haven't changed things up. He's been sick and trying to kill himself on the stairs a few times recently. So there's always that possibility, especially since if he trades up with Satsu, there's more stuff lined up for giving contributions for the Squeedus Christmas Fund. We'll have to kind of wait and see on that, but I am not interested in getting completely nuked in the channel competition. There's no way I can stand up to Lords of the Night as far as use of the same time slot, so that's one of those things I just don't try for. I'm just going to get my painting in and a little bit of music and chat with y'all while I've got the chance, and then I'll plan on following patterns, see if I can't round the box up to enough to open and get it opened at the end of the stream and quit in time so that I'm not playing a taking a knife to a tactical nuke fight on the 9 o'clock time slot. I'm just not that masochistic. I ain't even close to that masochistic. So that's the plan. We got a little bit more to go. I'm going to get as much of the picture painted as I can today. And then, of course, health permitting, streaming again next Saturday afternoon to pick up more of it. See if I can't finish this in another couple of streams. We'll see. Anyway, I know some people like the sound of my voice. I am not actually one of them. So we'll pause on the jabber and bring the music back. Little touch up on the glitter purple. It's starting to dry, and I can see. Can I pause that just a touch ahead of my intention? As pulling in a few different things here now. If I was snooty and pretentious, I'd talk about different techniques and everything. The truth is I have only very minimal training in art and even less base talent. All the pretty stuff you're seeing right now is still just the ability to stay inside the lines is at least 85% of the time. And then saying there are conventions out there like the color wheel and all of that. And I don't care what they say. I pick stuff that looks good to me in the moment, kind of goes along with what I'm aiming for, and hope that it turns out reasonably well. And I come out on top of that equation more often than not. So I'll just call that a combination of good taste and luck. But as far as actual artistic techniques and everything, I'd probably give any true artist that sees what I'm doing fits and nightmares and quivering, shaking fits. The flip side of that is, I'm not doing that painted red canvas that's some kind of modern art marvel for some reason and being sold for $250,000 when it's literally just a canvas painted red or white. Ooh, I spray painted a white painted canvas already. That's $150,000 right there. It speaks to my soul. Well, here, I'm giving you colors that speak to your soul. If you're an artist that says, go take a flying leap, anything can look good. Can I get $150,000 for this? $200,000? Bidding's open. Actually, no, this one's already spoken for. It's still a gift. Although I tell you, if somebody came up and said they'd give me $250,000 for it, I'd make another one for my friend for a gift. I'm not quite that picky, so yeah, but that's where that kind of goes. And back to the music, which I cut off a little bit prematurely, and we'll just keep going on. And I'm not pausing, just thank you, John. And as you notice, if you're around, I just added 7 lemon to the chest. That gets it up over the 10 threshold, which is the smallest we can open. I'm going to do a repeat of 1 or 2 songs. Well, I've got this section here and this section here. If you can see the details on the screen, I don't know how clear it is. But this is a blue of the same glitter nature as the purple and the gold and the red and this green here. So it's going on a little bit differently, but this bottle is almost empty. I've used it a lot. Get that really good. It's a good blue glitter. It's going to offset the red here. And then I'm going to have this little bit here to worry about, and these leaves or whatever they are in the picture to clean up, as well as cleaning up the white space before I put the color in there. I do actually have a color for around the cup. What I'm thinking about is not to take it all the way out to the edges, more of kind of just like a surrounding an oval or something like that, where it's drawing attention to the stuff in the middle, not just being a plain black background across the board. But before I put that on, I've got some spots of color that need to be cleaned up. And as I said, I'm going to do that off stream, because painting white on white, I know this is the Watching Paint Dry show and stream, but that's just going above and beyond. And we're trying to avoid that. I've got some followers on DLive. I've got almost 100 followers on YouTube, though not too many of them watch the streams. That's fine. I make videos too. I'm getting better enough where I need to complete a couple of videos that I kind of got in the works and get them posted. One is a laser video. The other is a creepypasta narration on my newer channel, Creepy Forge. There's only one story over there right now, but I'm getting visual elements together to post another one. The author of the story really liked the audio version I put together. He was just totally knocked over, and I pick shorter stories and people who don't have the exposure. I don't do the stories that have been done 100 times over again, and it works well for me because I get to do some really fun stories, and they appreciate the exposure and the fact that somebody's actually paying attention to and recording their work instead of just, oh hey, we're gonna record the rake for the 57th time. Well, let me do something new, and then other people get something new too. And there's some fun stories out there that don't take 10, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and a half to complete. And that's what I'm kind of aiming for now. Get myself tuned in on narration and some of the technique there, because that actually does require technique more than the art streams, just applying paint on it. But that's kind of where I am, as I've got 2 videos. The laser video's got more work to do on, actually, because I've got to script and record it and then kind of assemble everything. But the video elements are recorded. The item is burned. And then I've got a few other things to line up to make more laser videos as well. So I need to kind of balance out the art streams with the original inspiration for this channel, which was off that Will It Blend group, doing Will It Forge with my Glowforge laser. I'm not sponsored by Glowforge or anybody but myself. If you go in the channel info, in the stream info, one of those, there's a link to my Teespring shop. There's also an email for inquiries. I do commissions in the laser. I haven't been taking commissions for artwork because, let's face it, I put in so much time on things like this that to me it's kind of puts in the prohibitively expensive to make it price it and worth my time. And maybe it's me undervaluing myself, but I don't expect other people to pay that much. So if I'm doing something like this, it's typically I'm doing it for a gift, and usually not because people have asked for it. This person, unless they've watched a couple of the streams, does not know yet that this hedgehog is coming, but she loves hedgies. So that's kind of a summary there of where things are going. I have gotten the alert. Lords of the Night is on Ranting Monkey's channel tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. I am definitely going to be stream off before that because let's face it, almost nobody will be here if it's competing with the Lords of the Night, myself included. Sorry, folks. We're switching over to watch and restream Lords of the Night, as it's not going to be me in that period of time. Easier if I just shut down and let people go watch them. I'm going to throw a couple pieces in again, music-wise, and just make sure I'm done with this part here. We're going to leave this blank tonight. The outer part, the hedgehog, aside from the black lining, is done. And that's taking a black paint pen and going over the lines that made up the coloring page. It's just really going to make those colors pop out. And anybody who thinks the picture is good now, they'll be like, wow, it was drab before. This is wow. And I know that y'all are going to do that because that's the way I've treated it, and that's the response I've gotten showing pictures of before and after on the painted versus painted with the lines in. So I can't do justice in a description for what that's going to look like. Just know that it's going to look good. So just a song or two. Well, I go over this again and make sure there's no spots I want to touch up. And we just kind of go from there. I'll open the box, shut down the stream, and folks like me who want to watch Lords of the Night can go over to Ranting Monkey's channel. Okay, I think that is it for the painting for now. I don't really see any place desiring touch-up. That one spot right there just screamed to me that it wanted the blue glitter, and I acquiesced. That's what happens when you let your paintings talk to you. They get pushy. So anyway, I'm going to put in that Greatest Gift of All one more time, just because I really love that song, and if there's a Christmas type song that I feel like overplaying this season, that's the one. So I'm going to get that one playing. We're going to go ahead and open the box on DLive, and then at the end we'll be closing down the stream. People who are interested in Lords of the Night, go over to Ranting Monkey's channel. That's going to be up in half an hour. And otherwise, any of you that want to come back next week as we try and finish this off, because next week we're going to be finishing up the cup work, finishing off up here, and we'll start with that black paint pen. And about the only question that's going to be left from the black paint pen and the outlining is everything. And when that's in there, this space here in the eyes, am I going to want to color in that, or am I going to leave that white to kind of stand out and offset everything else? Definitely this part inside where we got the circles and the one line is definitely going to stay white. It's a question of the outer parts, which is, normally in the eye would be white anyway. But when I'm making these paintings, tell me, what do I actually care about normal? So that's going to be the end of the stream. Gonna music up. You see the gold is really drying a dark gold glitter. And I said, since I've worked with that paint before, I got a feeling for it. We're getting really close. This one might be up for gifting in 2 or 3 weeks. It'll be 3 definitely if I go for sealing it with the clear acrylic. If I leave it open to the elements susceptible, or spray it with Rust-Oleum gloss, clear gloss, then it will be available sooner. I'm just concerned because sometimes the Rust-Oleum alters the color. It's clear gloss, but sometimes it alters the colors underneath it. So I'm kind of an iffy on that. We'll see when we get there. So enjoy the tune. If you're around DLive, get ready for that box opening, and when the song's over, we'll be shutting down the stream. Thanks for coming by, and have a great Saturday.